Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. I got a video today from Riva TV. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. Let's get that Chow Time. And shout out to River for covering this topic.
We have created this narrative based on our actions, our behaviors to be these unruly women when that is not our history.
21-year-old sentenced to 1 year in prison in Dubai for touching a security guard's arm at the Dubai airport.
3 seconds, I promise you.
Put me in the cuffs.
But according to her,
That looked more than like a touch.
her mom, her passport has been confiscated because she was charged with screaming in public.
This just makes Americans look bad also, but it also micros into the black community, and then micros into black women.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Riva, and I'm back again with another video. So what I'm about to show you guys is something that is just basically foolishness, okay? This woman decided to go out of the country to the Dominican Republic, I believe it's Punta Cana to be exact, and went on to the ocean or whatever, and there were people who were there who were selling pineapples. So apparently, the person who sold her a pineapple overpriced it, and she was, supposed to pay an amount, I believe, or she did pay an amount that was like even more than the ticket that she purchased to even get on this boat ride. So this was her reaction to that situation.
So she got scammed. Happens. I mean, you're in a foreign country, people trying to work you for money for, things.
I just got to press play. So we can see the man who owns the raft in the red hat. She is going into his personal belongings. She's throwing away, the stuff that he makes the drinks with. She's throwing out the pineapples out. She's standing on top of the raft, yelling at him, cursing him out. Tried to make a getaway thinking that, she was all arrogant and she was just going to get onto the boat immediately. Ended up falling off into the water. Like this whole event. Okay. As we can see based on the scenery, there's all these other boats that are there. And the only person who is acting a clear fool that we see is this black woman from America. Okay? It ain't me who said it. It ain't me who...
I mean, she said it right. Black woman. Those are two demographics that it hit. And then American. Not be the big demographic. Americans look bad. Black women look bad. So what happens when you... Remember, we are the representation of our own country, our own culture, when we go out to other places. People have to realize that.
Who did it? I'm just showing you the facts that we see in this video. Now, again, apparently this woman actually ended up getting a refund for the money that she paid, but she still decided to act a plumb fool outside of the country. My first initial, thoughts about this situation was it could have never been that serious. Okay?
Usually.
It could have never been that serious. You are always going to be able to, rectify situations when you are in a calm manner way better than you are going to rectify a situation by being rah, ghetto, hood rat. I'm a woman, even though you a man, I could take you. Like, it's never going to work out in your favor.
Because, I've heard Jamaican men don't handle it the same way we do. You want to go rah, smack them, they will smack you back.
All you had to do was communicate with this person, but you now going out of your way to destroy this man's property, a local to the country, a country that you do not belong to, is foolishness. And it immediately reminded me of the situation of, the first scenario of the woman who was, another black woman from the U.S. who went to Dubai and was, arrested and detained, had people all out trying to come out for her and help her and assist her because she was not following the rules of the country.
But according to her mom, her passport has been confiscated because she was charged with screaming in public.
It also could result in prison time, so it's very scary.
Now, again, similar to the situation that happened here with the pineapples, It was something that had to do with, her being overcharged.
She was a passenger in a friend's rental car, and they got into an accident there in Dubai. Tina Baxter says when her daughter went to the company to retrieve her ID, credit card, and other items left in the rental, Baxter says it did not go well.
She found out that she could only receive those items if she paid an undisclosed amount of money.
And, she wasn't having that because, ain't nobody going to try to get me. I'm going to get them. And got into this, verbal altercation with this person at the car rental place because of her allegedly, getting scammed or being overcharged or whatever the case is.
She dealt with a very aggressive individual, a young man there who was screaming at her.
Baxter says her 29-year-old daughter ultimately yelled back at the rental car agent, she says, resulting in her being charged for screaming there in Dubai.
I wish that some of these rules and regulations would become, rules and regulations here in the U.S. because
yeah, we should normalize like some of those things. Like, stop yelling at each other. Stop raising your voice so crazily at each other. That would be great.
I gotta tell you, as a black woman myself,
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
I am more than allowed to give my full, thorough opinions and thoughts about this situation.
Yes, you
in
are.
a very unbiased way. You want to know why? Because I love us. Okay, we are beautiful. No,
I do love black women, and yes, you guys are beautiful.
we can be graceful, elegant, like we're so multifaceted as a people.
Yeah.
But you see, when y'all come with that ratchet behavior and y'all take it
Agreed.
somewhere else, I personally love to see it checked. Okay, because this is the stuff that we are that we have to deal with when we're all here in the US dealing with this kind of behavior, and it almost seems as though there's no ramifications for it.
There really
Like,
isn't.
we can watch numerous police videos when literally the authority that is coming in that can take you to jail is present, and how these women act with our own police officers.
And we allow them. That's the thing, right? Shout out to Riva for, again, covering the topic. People get upset when I cover this particular topic. I don't really say much other than I love black women and should probably stop, putting a detriment to your own image. But Riva's right. She has much more say about this than I do. And that's why I cover her. Because I know a lot of my community, a lot of you guys want to listen to good black women calling out bad black women, or just good women calling out bad women in general. It doesn't really matter the color or the race too much. This just happens to be that race.
It's crazy to me.
3 seconds, I promise you.
Something that's extremely necessary is rules, is order. Okay, that is how things are able to function, is when there is order set in place. And a lot of times this entitlement that not only black American women have, but just, from a global standpoint,
Correct.
that it seems that American women in general have,
Correct.
is this level of entitlement.
And this is why I cover it. Yes, American women in general. This one happens to be this particular community, but women are out there doing this left and right.
Right? I can do whatever I want. I can say whatever I want. There should be no ramifications for if I tell this person off, or if I cuss this person out, or if I act ratchet like how I always do around my homegirls or at home or whatever the case is. And that's just not the way that you do things. And that's not the way that you can get points across. It's very immature, in my personal opinion. It's very, you don't know how to behave in certain places. It's very out of control. Right? And so when they deal with these situations as if it's out of control, because it is out of control behavior, then there's always some kind of scenario trying to make it seem like, women in these scenarios are the victims, when that's not the case.
Never.
So she is in jail
Hardly
for
ever.
one reason alone. She raised her voice. In that country, a female is not even allowed to raise her voice. If she raises her voice,
I like this pastor. He usually covers pretty good stories. I felt like he covered a bad one on this one.
punishable by jail time. Our opinion, she did not commit a crime. Don't punish women for doing the same thing a man can do in Dubai. It's not fair and it's not right.
There was another situation that actually happened as well, when another black American woman went to Dubai. And I believe she was actually not even staying there. She was passing through there and had to go to the airport, and ended up deciding that she was going to nudge somebody with her shoulder, or, brush past them because she had an attitude and things weren't going her way. And this woman ended up having to serve a 1-year, prison sentence over it.
21-year-old sentenced to 1 year in prison in Dubai for touching a security guard's arm at the Dubai airport. And so
Oh, that's what the touching the arm meant. So she just kind of and bumped him hard and then didn't apologize and caused an attitude kind of thing? Is that what
I
happened?
have been researching and reading is that she is now serving a year prison term for nudging a security guard.
Now imagine if we had those kind of repercussions and ramifications here in the United States. I think women would keep their hands to themselves a lot more.
Now, you would think after these widespread global stories that this would put women in a certain space of like, okay, you know what? I may, maybe I act a fool at the house, but I'm not going to go ahead and do that when I'm, overseas out the country. I'm not going to act like I have any kind of entitlement or that somebody's going to have my back. Like, I'm going to portray myself in a certain way because you don't know what the jail system like is in Dominican Republic.
You never want to go to jail in Cambodia, boys. Never. It is... Yeah. I don't want to have to explain much of the jails in Cambodia, but my dad has told me stories.
Okay? You have no idea how they handle things over there. And oftentimes they believe that, coming from America, that there's going to be some people that are going to come over there and save them and get them out of situations, when a lot of times that's actually not what ends up happening. America be like, okay, I don't got nothing to do with that. Y'all gonna have to stay over there and figure it out because y'all know how to act. Y'all don't know how to act here. Y'all don't know how to act over there.
Like, you'll get saved if you were a good person doing good things and then bad things happen to you. But when you're a bad person acting a fool, people don't really tend to feel sorry for you.
What gets me about this video is that, the woman and how she's acting, these are how men are used to being treated even here when they're in a relationship with these women.
Correct.
Right? And
Shout out
a
to
lot
Riz
of,
for putting that out there.
even men do not even realize the severity of how toxic this behavior actually is. Like, when a lot of these women behave this way overseas, they like, we're not used to that. Okay, we're not used to you being a woman coming up here trying to, dictate nothing. We don't get down like that.
Yeah.
There's a certain level of respect that we have with one another when we are communicating. But also, I know I'm going to get a lot of backlash for saying this, but it's my honest truth and my honest opinion. A lot of other women from different countries have a certain level of respect for the men in their countries. And there's a lot of...
Yes, you are 100% correct on that one, Riva. Thank you. Like, again, I love Riva. I cover her all the time. She's probably one of the better female creators out there, especially in this space. Genuine. Shout outs to her for putting it out there that other women of other cultures, other women in other countries actually respect their men or actually respect the men around them and in their country. So for you to come in and just disrespect men like that, you're also seen against women.
Of things that they cannot do. You would think that us being in this place that we have a lot of freedom, that we would still have that certain level of respect. But it's like with more freedom comes, more women talking about, we don't need no man. We don't need them. We can do better without them. They're beneath us. We don't want to procreate with them. We don't want to be in relationship with them. And again, a lot of these freedoms that are happening are because of the same men. The men have built the infrastructures. The men have gone, out and,
We killed all the bad things that were going to kill you, or at least majority of them.
On with their way. The men are the ones who are...
How many animals that we make extinct into the pursuit of society, to pursue of safety for our own people, women, and children? How many animals that we go extinct? Plenty.
Are proving a lot of these laws, and because again of the freedom, it has, we've got more freedom as women, and a lot of these women have just decreased their level of respect.
So the ruling is in. Here's the 3 top reasons why Black women have the lowest marital rates. We are uncooperative.
Yes.
We do not listen.
Yes.
And we have the nastiest attitudes.
Yes.
And
if it wasn't for those 3 things, I would probably date more Black women. Trust me, I'm actually pretty attracted to them. And I match with Black women constantly on dating apps. It's just that those 3 reasons are usually the reasons why I don't date them. That's why I usually date Asian women, like my girlfriend.
Unfortunately, y'all, I agree.
And again, not because you be getting away with it here means that you can go on over to these other people's country and be acting a clear fool.
Crazy.
It's a horrible thing. And it also sets up, more horrible standards for other new people who are going over there that look like you.
Correct.
Because it's like, oh yeah, they all don't know how to act.
Again, we are the representation of our own culture, people, and creed when we go out there. Imagine if I went out there and just slapped everybody and they're just being a douche, and I'm the only Cambodian person that these people have ever met. What do you think they're going to think about Cambodians? They're just going to think we're just some asshole douches who are just slapping people left and right? That's the experience they have with them, and then that's the experience they're going to share amongst everybody else. And again, once that gets shared, now it becomes the norm of how they view you or the group of people like you.
Because you are the representative.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, they might see somebody else who's probably not even going to act a certain way, but because of their image of you consistently, y'all are disrespectful, and because of the stereotypes that you are proving to be true, then other people who go to these places get treated a different way. And yep. It's crazy. I think it's crazy. And I think that there should be more ramifications in place. You're out of control. Nobody can talk to you. Nobody can hold you accountable.
Like, this plays both ways, right? I've gone to places here in the United States where they're like, oh my God, we love Asian guys. We love Cambodian people. They've helped us out a lot. They've done this, they've done that. Like, we love you, blah, blah, blah. Because they've had such great experiences with Cambodians. They see you and they're automatically like, oh, you're awesome. Oh, your family's cool. Like, oh, we met these people and all that. They're so much more friendlier. They're so much more accommodating. They're so much more like respectful, or like, great hostess to you in a sense, because the representation that they experienced from someone that came from your culture, from your background, from your looks was so wonderful that they just never thought anything ill of those types of people. Those are the two ways to go about it. You cause enough issues to where that's how they see you, problems, or you do such great things, all they see you as praise. You can play both games, but most of the time people end up playing the problems game. Always.
Nobody can tell you that you're wrong. Nobody can say nothing to you. And you're comfortable with that. You shouldn't be. I think this situation is crazy. Okay? I think this situation is crazy, and if these other countries start cracking down,
again, it all comes down to that respect factor that I always talk about. We're lacking it in the United States just in general, because that is a lack of respect, a lack of manners, because you don't have respect for other people's property. You don't have respect for other people's country. You don't have respect for other people's business.
I don't want to hear that they're biased against certain races, or they don't like a certain set of people. I don't want to hear it.
Yep.
Because when y'all be acting a fool, that's what happens. Then all of a sudden, they stop letting people into certain places. And all of a sudden, you got to prove yourself before you can get into certain resorts. I get it. Okay, because y'all not going to come over to my stuff and start tearing my stuff up. That ain't going to work with me.
Preach, girl.
Again, this adds to the reason why when it comes to being desirable, they say that black women are on the bottom, because we're looked at as unruly, disrespectful,
And then it's always attitude. It's always the comment about it. It's never about their looks, because they look beautiful. They have good looks. We do talk about their fake hair a little bit here and there, but overall, black women are pretty good looking women. But it's that attitude that just destroys their whole image of being good women.
Can't do nothing for ourselves, very entitled, like just all mean, rude. It's terrible. And the more that people act like this, the more they are adding to that narrative.
Again, shout outs to Riva for putting herself in the crossfire, because I'm sure she'll get hate comments for this. I get hate comments for covering this topic all the time, because I get hate comments that I'm an Asian guy covering black women and all that. But I always try to relate it to most women and just most cultures, Yeah, if you go to Asian countries and act a fool, those Asian countries see your country as a fool. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that.